Let us today begin our study of Sri Shankaracharya's Tattva Bodha in 5 chapters. We have studied the first chapter, Adhikari, who is competent or eligible. And next, we are going on with the next second chapter about the formation of the Sharira, the Sthula, Sukhsma, and Karana Sharira, or the Panchakoshas, and the 3 states, Jagra, Swapna, Sushupti. We're studying that. As the meaning of Tattva Bodha, the Atma Tattva Viveka means to gain the knowledge of truth, of Atman, which is real, and the other Anatman, which is false or unreal. To differentiate that, we are studying which are the Anatman, and through that, by the path of Neti Neti, we'll study the which is the Atman in this text. So let us start with the first Mangalacharan verse, and then we'll proceed with today's text. The chapter 2 will start, will in the middle of the chapter 2, Atma Tattva Viveka. So here the Mangalacharana sloka. Om Sri Gurubhya Namaha Atha Sri Shankaracharya Virachita Tattva Bodha Mangalacharan. Vasudevendra Yogindra Nathva Jnanapradam Gurum Mumukshunam Hitarthaya Tattvabodho Bhidhiyate. Having saluted Sri Vasudeva, the king of yogins, Antaryamin, the Guru, who is the bestower of jnana, the knowledge of the truth, this Tattva Bodha is being expounded for the benefit of the seekers after liberation. So we'll directly come over to the second chapter, where after the definition of Atman, we are studying which is Sthula Sharira and which is Sukhsma Sharira. These definitions we have studied in the last class, and after that we are proceeded towards the definition of the Gyanendriyas, enumerating the Gyanendriyas. This much we have done from 11 up to 11.5. So today we'll start from 11.6, where it has been depicted the Karmendriyas. It is here where we'll start today. If any queries, questions, or feedbacks, comments, you can put right now even, or in the middle, or whenever you need or feel like, you can speak on. So 11.6, as we can remember, very short for recapitulation, in the Sukhsma Sharira, it was said that there was Pancha Gyanendriyani, Pancha Karmendriyani, Pancha Prana, and Manha, Buddhi. These 17 elements together forms the Sukhsma Sharira without Panchikaran from the Pancha Mahabhuta. That's why we have done the Pancha Gyanendriya. Now we'll do the Pancha Karmendriya. The others will carry on in this and next chapter even, and we'll come back these concepts again and again when we'll get a whole view of this teaching. Now we are only seeing in parts on few indriyas, we are just studying individually. So let us come to 11.6, where the Karmendriyas, after studying the Gyanendriyas last day, where we have studied there about 5 Gyanendriyas in the 11.3, Strotra, Tram, Tvak, Chakshu, Rasana, Granam. We have studied this, and there were Devatas. We have discussed in details of the idea of concept of Devata, and what are the subjects or the Vishayas for each Gyanendriyas that we have studied. Now, let us in the same continuity, let us come to the Karmendriya. 11.6 says, if any you have any point or asking, you can of course any in between also you can ask. Vak, Pani, Pada, Payuh, upasthani iti pancha karmendriyani. Vak means bani, pani means hasta, pada, payu, upastha. ये पांच कर्मेंद्रिया है. In the English, Bak, Bani means speech, Pani, Hasta means hands, Pada means legs, Payu means anus, and Upastha means genitals are the five Karmendriyas, means Karma, Indriya, the organs, Indriya's organs of Karma, means of action. As we have said earlier, here the Sukhsma Sharira is being depicted. So this corresponds to the external organs of speech, hand, leg, anus, and genitals in the Sthula Sharira. But this itself are not those Sthula Sharira parts which we see or perceive in our body or in the bodies of the any other pranis. It's not that a human or any living being's hand with flesh and bones and muscles and nerves and blood vessels. They are not meaning those external, the Sthula Sharira part, but is a corresponding part of that Sthula Sharira, but within the Sukshma Sharira. So this Sukshma Sharira, the Karmendriya are not perceivable, it are not seen like the Sthula crude. We can see the hands and feet of any human being or a pranis. So this Sukshma Sharira is only the corresponding part in the Sukshma Sharira, which is that's why it is called Sukshma, subtle, which is not in a crude form, which cannot be perceived in a gross body. It is not gross. This we need to remember. But it just corresponds with the corresponding organs in the Sthula Sharira. So now he'll come in like in the case of Gyanendriyas, like the sense organs. For these Karmendriyas, the organs of actions, he will say about this, they are devatas and they are vishayas, they are subjects. We have said earlier in the last class that devata means from div dhatu. Div dhatu, it's devata. Div means that which is luminous, means that which illuminates us, that which is the power of illumination. That means that which enlightens us. Without that, our perception or knowledge becomes darkened, it's not illumined. We do not know that. And with this, div means by it, when it is enlightening, it gives us this knowledge. We are aware of, we come to know about that. Before that, we are in the dark age, as it were. So this is the real idea of div. From div dhatu devata means that from the Chaitanya Shakti itself, that through the power of prakasha, when it enlightens, then only we can these actions, these organs, whether action or Gyanendriya of sense organs, they function, and through that we come to get the knowledge of any objects. And that's why this devata from Devdhatu is said. And the corresponding for this devatas, they have also their own forms. Like different devatas or devis, they have their own forms in Puranas. It has been depicted different devatas with different hands or faces and with some different, they have their own vehicles or their own weapons. All those are there. But here the main essence from the Chaitanya, the Nirakar essence, mainly meant, which can also take up the Sakar form. The same Nirakar essence of Devata can take up the Sakar form also. So begin with 11.7, coming to the Devata of the speech, of the Vak, of the Bani. He is saying, Sri Shankaracharya is saying that Vacho Devata Vannihi. Vacha, Bak, Bani, speech. Bani ke Devata Agni hai. The presiding deity of the speech is fire. Fire, as we can know that when we see fire, it burns away everything. So that is fire, that form which we perceive in fire. And again, the preceding the Devata of fire from the Chaitanya Shakti, as we said. It is Chaitanya, it is not a material form, material fire. But it's a Chaitanya Shakti which has been called the Agni Devata, Vannihi, Agni Devata. And Agni Devata also can take the form, divine form of a Sakara form, as like a human form. It can also take up. But the spirit or principle has been told here that Vacha Devata Vannihi, fire. Why? we can very well understand that speech, Shabda Brahma it is called, that from the words which are uttered, it is like a Brahman, and that it is one of the Swarup and Brahman, and from that, that even this world and everything can develop, or it can change, or it can accordingly, it can manifest. Even in a mundane affairs, we can understand that when watch one speech, how important it is. When a human being speaks to another person, it is speak, and the speaking and the speeches which talks with one another. That makes a relation with another person, either sweet, or sour, or indifferent, or whatever it may be. We can know that through speech only. It sometimes when it is to sour or some relationships, a relationship may develop in a very good way, and through speech alone, a relationship can spoiled when we use a loose tongue or some without any ungrateful way, any something we say which is not any socially not acceptable, unacceptable things, and only speech, but without harming a person physically, without harming a person physically by a hand or by a weapon, or by poisoning him with a food, with having a poison with that, but speech alone from the far away. When you're speaking to somebody, you're not touching that person, like you're when you harm, you stick or you hurt a person, or like you by weapon or by poison you are touching, but through the far away, when you're away from that person, but whatever you speak, if it's good speech, then the person and your relationship, it develops more and more. But if it is a bad speech, or you something abuse, then sometimes the your relationship just breaks away for the whole life. And whatever that the heart, that whatever that decay happens, that some can never forget and forgive. So that shows the speech is so much powerful, even more powerful like weapon or poison. A poison can have an antidote. You can revive a person from poison. And when you're hurting a person by your hand or by weapon, it can be cured and can be healed. But speech, when something you love somebody, but something you say very mean thing, but the person may remember that for for his and her whole life, and for once for all your relationship can be strain. That shows speech is like a uh, fire. When fire burns, it cannot be recovered again. When fire burns, whatever it has burnt, it cannot be recovered from to its previous form again. So this is so important. So when it was a potent energy of fire, and it just destroyed it to ashes, and also heat it generates. That way also through that heat, that it also just destroys a person. And through a scar, when a person is burnt by fire, even the person heals later on, the scar of that fire, that burn, that it never leaves. So these three properties of fire: fire once just burns it to ashes, that it cannot be recovered to its previous form. Next thing, it generates heat, so that even it doesn't burn. That heat itself is a scalding heat. It may cause you harm, or you may feel from the far away. Even the fire doesn't touch you. From the far away, you can feel that heat, and it can cause you inevitable harm, and you can sense that. And the third point, from fire, that it remains as a scar even after it heals, after the treatment, medicine, the scar remains for life. So these three effects. That's why this Vacha, the Vanya Vak is like fire. That's why Devata is Varni. Because fire is so much important, Vak is so much important. With good speech, like fire, may help you in the dark room. It may help you to see, like Sri Ramakrishna says, like Surya, when you have a light, torchlight in hand, through that you can do good work. Also, you can as well, you can do bad work as well with the same light of that fire or sunlight. Similarly, that fire itself, through that you can develop yourself with others, with the society, but you can destroy. like fire destroys to ashes, or even by heat from far away, it scalds you, or by its scars you for the future, for the whole life, for the rest of your life. So that's why it said that Vacha Devata is Vandihi. It's so much apt that the Devata Vacha will be Vandihi. So much apt that symbolic way they are saying, and such true it is said. Next, let us come. As I said again and again, if you have any queries and questions, or you can in between also, you can of course put up without any hesitation, inhibition. Now let us come to the second point. Hastayo Indraha. Hasta, for the hands. Its Devata is Indraha. Of the preceding deity of the hands is Indra. Who is Indra? Indra is Devaraja, the king of all the devas, all the deities. We know the famous story. One famous story is there. We all of us know that Brahmin in wrongly he killed a cow in his garden. When a cow came, he just beat the cow with a stick, and the cow inadvertently died. And he was very sad, sorrowful, remorse, full of remorse, because that sin of killing cow would acquire him. And when the sin came, he said that, no, I didn't commit the sin because the Devata of my hand is Indra. Right? We are seeing here, Hastaya Indra. That's why it is the Indra who has committed the sin, and sin should go to him and not to me. And now the story goes, we know all that Indra came and in a disguise of a person, and told the Brahmin that whatever this wonderful guardian who had done this. And the person, full of his pride, he said, this garden is my creation, and I made these beautiful vegetables, fruits, and trees, and flowers, and everything is done by me, myself alone, everywhere. And at the last, when he reached to the place where the carcass of the body of that cow was lying down, that Indra then said in aghast, who's there? This has done this scene of killing a cow. Then, till now, when the Brahmin was telling always that I did all these good things, like building this garden and fruits and flowers, tree, everything. Then, when he earlier said that this killing of cow was done by my hands, Devata means Indra. Now, how could he say that? So then Indra said that uh, uh, curse also goes to sin also goes to you. So this way it is said that Devata of the hand is Indra, and for each hand, it is in our own power, that their guiding principle, that deep, that light is there. But it is our own power that we should use that instrument in good light or in bad light. This is the important thing. Like in the Vacha for a fire, we can use fire, that light of the fire, to do good things. Like in winter, we can warm up ourselves. We can cook vegetables in the fire, or other works when we need to light up. We need light for our daily work. You can use fire for these are all the good uses. But again, fire, if we use that wrongly, it can burn to ashes, or it can scald you, or it can put scar to you. So all the negative effects all depends on us, how we wield the instrument in our hand, in our through our own uses, the organs of action or sense organs. Here also, how we use the hand, the Indra is always there, the deity, to guide us. But it is up to us that how we use that hand to our benefit or to our detriment. That is the saying, and that shows that through that story of that killing of the cow. So here also the Hasta Indra, Indra is the Devata of presiding deity of hand. So we need to be careful that through this grace, or to pray and to be cautious, to be mindful about that. Through hands, whatever good things we may build, uh, we can do wonderful things through the rightful use of our hands. But again, we may, like the building of the wonderful garden with so many planting trees and fruits and flowers. But if we use it wrongly, we can do wrong action also. Then he comes Padayaha Vishnuhu. Pada means legs. The pada ke devata Vishnu hai. अर्थात the preceding deity of feet is Vishnu. Vishnu, when we say that Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara, here also that way, when Parameshwara, Paramatman, in his this way, that when he acts, that through his part as a deity of sustenance. Brahma is the deity of well creation. Brahma is Maheshwar, Shiva, Rudra is the deity of the dissolution and or destruction. And the Devata or deity of sustenance is a controller, is Vishnu. So Padayaha Vishnu. So when the legs are most important in the body because that holds us, that sustains us. Because only legs are there, because through that only we stand very wonderfully to the center of gravity with equilibrium, with balance on the ground. Without legs, we'd have stumbled upon. And legs also with an equidistribution of our weight, 50% in each leg, and it also helps us not only standing but walking to reach our destination. So this way, the Vishnu, the who is a controller, who is a sustainer, helps through the padaya so that we be balanced, we stand on our own feet, we do not lose our ground, our center of gravity remains within, and also we can reach our journey, our destiny, our destination, like we travel from one place to another. So leg also this part, that to hold us, our whole body, our whole weight, to stand us comfortably, and also or sit also, and also to take us from one place to another to a destination. So that's why Padaya Vishnu. Vishnu is the controller and is a deity. Through that, he guides and leads us so that we remain balanced in our life, and it holds us as it were, so that we do not become imbalanced in our life, and also it takes us to a destination. And here also, if we are careful about that, we can reach our destination rightly. But if we miss the mark, or we try towards the wrong side, we walk towards the wrong side of the road, we can meet with an accident. So it has the power, again Vishnu, we can wield that power righteously, it will help us. And but if we use that in a wrong way, it will can also lead to our own destruction. The same way the Padaya Vishnu, it has that power, that within that, to lead us, to hold us, to sustain us, and also to lead us to our goal. If you use it rightfully, again, but if you use it wrongfully, it may lead to the wrong. The Sri Ramakrishna's famous story. There were two friends. One friend, when they reached a city, town, one friend, he walked away to a brothel, to a prostitute, and another friend walked away towards Bhagavat Katha. So they each reached according to with their leg also, wherever they reached. But again, we said that not only that where we reach, but how we take that attitude. Their story goes that the mind, according to mind, what they were thinking, the one who was with the prostitute was thinking about that Bhagavad Katha, and he reached the abode of Vishnu. But the other person, who though he went to Bhagavad Gita, but he was thinking of the prostitute, and he reached ultimately to the hell. So this also shows that not only the outer destiny, but your balance, your center of gravity should be within you. Not only outer way you show to the world that which way you're walking, and how you're walking, and where you're reaching, but again your inner balance, inner poise, that your inner center of gravity, where your mind stays, that also, that pada, we said that pada also helps you in balance. And in medical science also, when there are some disease in the cerebellum, or like Parkinson's and other disease with the central nervous system, the brain, though your legs may be very strong in the sense of your muscular skeletal muscle and your skin or your bones, but when your brain is deranged due to some disease, you lose balance. You cannot stand comfortably, or when you walk, you cannot walk comfortably. So this also shows that the essence of Pada Vishnu is within you, not only the external organs, but in the essence, as Devdhatu we said, that is a sustainer, is a controller. And how we wield this weapon or the deity according to our own use, to our benefit or for our destruction. So that way we'll gain the result, or we'll lose the chance for the time being. So Padaya Vishnuhu. Now comes Payoha Mrityuhu. Payu, Anas. The Payu के देवता मृत्यु है. The preceding deity of Anas is Mrityu. Mrityu means Yamaraja, where you ultimately, for everybody and every human being, death is certain, and death is certain, and life is uncertain. This is a very, if you say it is a bitter truth, it is a bitter truth. The death is certain, but life is uncertain. If you see again in medical science, we ingest, we take food daily, but the taking in is not in the end all of everything. If the wastage portion, after taking up the digestion portion which has been assimilated, the residue, if it is not thrown up and thrown out, you yourself are destroyed. Like we know about the disease which is called a renal failure, kidney failure, that we are taking up whatever, but through urine, if your whatever the unnecessary your ingredients, chemicals in your body, if it's not thrown out in through the urine, then you have the developing your kidney gets destroyed, and you need dialysis machine, and in the short term you may die. Similarly, the payu also, your digestive system, whatever you take up within the residue portion, it has to be thrown out. So this is a very very big lesson in life also, that we try to, in a human being, we try to out of a greed and greed and greed, we need to possess, we want to possess and gather more and more and more always, but we never want to let go, we never want to give up either human beings, relationships, positions, our what items we have, so many things we have, and we suffer for that. And ultimately, though we do not want to let go or give up, a day comes when death is certain, that you'll be forced. Swamiji says that this is certain, that everybody has to give up and everybody has to. But those who do it willingly, they are only the blessed. But those do not give up willingly, the nature, as it were, holds with their neck and presses them or pressures them and make them give up, to let go. This is the way of nature. If we understand that in medical science also, like kidney disease, if we do not pass urine or we do not pass our flatus or defecation, it is a grave, very grave disease, and we may need dialysis in kidney, and we may need even operation for case of when you do not pass your stool. So that's why, as intake is necessary, output is also necessary, if not more. That's why the payo, it is mrityuhu. There's a graceful exit from life. There's a graceful exit from life, that to die in dignity, what we say in medical field also, to die in dignity, to go in dignity. So that's why it said paya, but we fear death unnecessarily. We fear yama unnecessarily. But it is showing here that mrityu also a very important part of our being. It is one of our most important devata on our existence. That's why payoha mrityuhu. Unless he is there, he is only helps us to move on to our next life. So this way the mrityu is so much important. That's why Paya Mrityu. In Nachiketa also in Kathopanishad we see that Nachiketa, small boy, going to the Yama and learning that from him the notion of Brahma Vidya and coming back. So here that we are saying that Payu, the anus, the organ of excretion, it is taking it to both way, even with the organ of urination or the defecation, both ways saying, because we are saying that in this is, we are calling in the Sukhsma Sharira. I said earlier again also, it is corresponding to the external Sthula Sharira, but it is not the same in the external forms. It is just corresponding part in the Sukhsma, subtle, which cannot be perceived through our senses outwardly. So, Payaha Mrityu is a profound philosophical idea in this Payaha Mrityu, that Devata of death he is a preceding deity, and that's why here it's that so that Rabindranath Thakur is saying that Marande tuhu mama shyama prana samana. The death, you are my beloved Shyama, that it relieves us when even physically we know that when we are pressurized through to passing urine or passing stool, if we are not able to do that, so how much we suffer, and when we are able to able to urinate in that pressure, then we get relieved. So you also this grand philosophical idea in such a subtle and simple way, saying that payoha mrityuhu, the organ of the preceding deity of Anus, of payo is mrityuhu. Next, let us come. We are doing any very short here so that we can move on. But again, I said, if any questions, you can be free to ask in midway also. Now then, upasthasya prajapatihi iti. Upastha, upastha, the devata of upastha, the devata of the genitals of the organs of generation in the male body or the female body, the through which the reproductive organs. For there, they were the preceding deities Prajapati, Prajapati Brahma. When is the organ of creation in the corresponding in the male or the female? So even today we use that word of Prajapati, or even a picture of butterfly in the for the we know in the marriage albums or marriage ceremonies. So this is the idea that when marriage means the conjugation to the next birth or next creation in the male or female through that reproductive organs. So here the preceding deity is Prajapati Brahma through that the creation. As we said, the Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara in its respective functions, the same Paramatmans that we said the function according to the same Chaitanya Shakti, and according to his functions, Vishnu came in the Pada, and here the Brahma Prajapati comes in the creation, and destruction or that dissolution that will also come later when Rudra will come in somewhere else. We'll see where he comes. When Sri Shankaracharya will still say that he will also come, the Rudra or the Mahadev that way. So Upasthasya Prajapati iti, these are the Karmendriya Devataha. These are the Karmendriya Devata hai, for the organs of action. These are the presiding deities. And now, for each of these presiding deities, they have their own function also. We have already told about their function, but now he'll just mention that in more formally. He'll say in the 11.8 for the its function, each function of each organ and their vishaya, the object, or the subject which where they do their action. So telling vachaha vishaya bhashanam, bani, bak, bak के विषय बोलना है. The function of the organ of the speech is to speak. So after giving the deity, already during when we said that the deity of the Vacha is Vani, the fire, we said that through good speech you may help and inspire others, like the famous speech of Swamiji in his Chicago Parliament Religions and elsewhere, his column to Almore lectures and other lectures. He inspired millions in the world, and there are also many other famous speeches in the history of humanity also. But again, there are some, we said that like fire, it can inspire you, but it help you, but again like fire, it can destroy you. Like we like know in the Mahabharata, when the speeches of the Shakuni or Duryodhana, when they were just doing harm to the whatever they were speaking out, and they were only spitting out poison through that, and they were through that ultimately they themselves were destroyed in the Mahabharata war. And Ravana also, Ramana we know, when he was speaking boastfully many places, ultimately they got destroyed. So that's why Vacha Vishaya Bhashanam, the speech, to speak, that is the function of the organ of speech, and how we wield these important instruments, which is fire. We need to remember that this is in our own, only it's belong to us only. There's a famous incident in the life of Ramakrishna Mission's the 13th president, Srimad Swami Ranganathanathanji Maharaj, When he was a small boy, he was born up in the Kerala, the year of Kerala, the state of Kerala. Once as a small boy, it said that once he made some bad comment, that small boy making some bad words when he was probably he had learned from his friends or somewhere and used those bad words. And his mother listened to it, that my son has spoken these bad words. Then Ranganathanji to the small boy when he was yet to become a monk, he was a small boy then, his mother told him, see, in your tongue is where your mother Saraswati resides. Mother Saraswati means the Bani, the Vag Devata, Vag Devi. Here we are speaking of Devata. As we said, there is a many way interpreting these ideas of Devata and Devi. In one way, one is there, but another way to think of that the Devi of Vag is Vag Devi is in Vasanta Panchami, Mother Saraswati, Mother Saraswati. So she said that, see, your in a tongue, Mother Saraswati resides. But you say, if you say these bad words, these very not good words, if you do not say these good words, instead say bad words, then what will happen? Then Mother Saraswati won't reside in your tongue. She will leave your tongue, and so that means your tongue will be more no more divine. You cannot speak on divine. It will be a very low and very in a bad state, defiled state. So this clicked in his mind, and he said then after that, never ever he spoke any bad words to his tongue. Whenever he need to speak out or to say very tough words or to speak rebuke others, but it was a very gentle and through very restrained and wonderful he used to speak that, and never any bad words. Even in later years, once there was a one famous poem called "Speak Gently." You can find out this poem through Google Internet search, and you can read that wonderful poem. He used to keep that poem with him, and he used to share that poem, the Speak Gently English poem, with others as well. Another famous incident was there later on, probably when he was the vice president of the Ramakrishna order, probably like that, or a little bit earlier or later, whatever may be. It so happened that from brahmacharis in the center, who was the pujari in the shrine in the temple of that Ramakrishna ordered center. When some devotees came to the temple, he spoke some harsh words to those devotees. He was didn't whatever the controller rules will be there, that he need to follow the rules. He could tell those things to the devotees, but he spoke those things, but in a very harsh manner, in a rude manner. The rudely he spoke out, not in a good way he spoke out. So those devotees complained to Maharaji, to Ranganatha Maharaj, that see this monk or brahmachari spoke such rude words to him. So Raghunath he called that monk brahmachari, and himself he didn't speak any harsh word to him. He just brought out that poem, Speak Gently, that wonderful poem to him, print out, and shared that poem with that monk brahmachari, and said that this you read this here, the poem, and see that whenever you need to be very tough in a situation in your administration, you may be tough. That is not a harm. That you need to control your department, but your speech should not be harsh. It should be gentle and should be restrained, and that way that you should not demand through speech. You should command through speech. That idea, restrained, wonderful idea should be there. So this is a great incident. And another incident we know that Swamiji, Narendranath Datta, when he was a Bile, when he was a small child, once it is said that he learned some bad words from his friends, and he spoke those words to his mother. And when his father, Vishwadatta, he spoke to his mother, Bhuvaneshwari Devi, when his mother, Vishwadatta, came to know that he spoke those bad words, he simply, what he did, he wrote those words in the room, the door of Narendra Datta Bilay's room, in a chalk and big letters, that today this Naren or Vilay, he has told these words, these bad words himself, he wrote on the door and to his mother, and so that when his friends will come to meet him, to Naren Billet in his home, or everybody in the household also, they can himself see that what words he has uttered to his mother. So that was a great lesson to Swami Naren Bile, that in that tender age. And this way also, he never ever uttered those bad words in his through his tongue in his whole life. and we know that how inspiring his words were there in the whole life through his Chicago speech or in the America and Europe and India, all over Melbourne and everywhere. So that's why the Vacha Vishaya Bhashanam, how you use that Devata Vani to your help, assistance, like Vagdevi Saraswati, or to destroy, like fire, it's up to you, up to us. Now, Panyah Vishaya Vastu Grahanam. So, for the Pani, हाथ, the hands, the Vishaya, हाथ का वस्तु ग्रहण करना है उसका विषय. Means the hand, the function of the organ of the hand is to grasp the things. We understand that very well, that through hand we take up the things, and we know that for human hand this is still more important thing. For all other animals also, like a monkey and those who have claws, like birds or any other animals, those can grasp by dogs and cats, whatever through the clasp, even chimpanzees. But man has a unique thing in his hand, Pani, that he can use his Bridhangushta. Bridhangushta means that your this big that ear finger, the first that thumb. This is a very important. Only human being can use this. This the bring the Bridhangushta. This is a very very important thing. No other prani can use have that. You can even see the monkeys, chimpanzees when they hold any branch or any stick or anything. They do not grasp like a human being can hold any thing, like we hold pen or stick like that. If they're together with the other four the fingers, they grasp together, so that there is not a good grip in the hand. And when thumb is there, we can have a great grip when you hold anything, to grasp anything. We know the famous incident of Ekalavya, when Dronacharya, when he used to need to use bow and arrow, that there also thumb is very important. And Dronacharya told him that to give a Guru Dakshina, so that his another disciple Arjuna remains the greatest one. So you give me the thumb, you cut your thumb and give it to me. So that without the thumb, with the other fingers, you can see that only thumb you can opposition, you touch with the thumb, you can touch all the four fingers. With your thumb, you can touch your second, third, fourth, fifth fingers, tip of the all four fingers, very easily and very comfortably. But any other fingers, the second, third, fourth, fifth, to touch each other fingers tip, it's not that comfortable. You can hold through that any vastu and any grasp any things. You can just merely touch them, but it's not possible to hold any instrument, anything through the other fingers alone through the tip. But when thumb is there, you can greatly grasp that thing. So human being still more has this capability in the evolution. That's why it also said that dharmana hina pashu bhi samana. In human being also can have the dharma and to vichara and to develop and go beyond that. Other beings only follow that their karma phala pava punya of the other births. So Pāṇāya Visha Vastu Grahanam, for all beings, all pranis, but human beings has one more advantage, as we already said, the thumb. Now coming to Pādayah Vishayah Gamanam. पाद का जो विषय है गमन करना है. For the legs, the function of our leg is for locomotion. As we said, the Vishnu is the preceding deity. We already said that Vishnu, he works to that control or balance, center of gravity, reading that, and also our destiny, a journey, destination. So that's why the locomotion, this gamana, that this father helps. And there also, it is up to us that where we go or where we decide to go, good and bad place, or in a journey should be, like a famous dictum is given in the Upanishads and others, andhena niyamana yathandaha, a blind leading a blind. There also both are walking, but when a blind leads a blind means figuratively, if not literally, it means also when that you're not you're taking surrendering to Vishnu, when you take it figuratively, you may walk, but you may walk to your own destruction. But if you surrender to preceding deity, the deity will guide you so that you can walk away to your prosperity, to dharma or the kama moksha, like your purushartha, you can go towards your greater journey. But otherwise, you just destroy yourself. So again, the pada, how you use this instrument by the blessing of Vishnu, its Devata, it helps us either towards going towards good or going towards bad. Then payoh vishaya malatyagah. Payu ka vishay malatyag hai. Of the anus, the excretory organ, is the elimination of the waste products. Again, I said waste product, it's more both that anus and also that passing of urine also, whether kidney or the intestine, both way it is said in the external body. In the Sthula Sharira, it is both. Because we are talking here the Sukhsma Sharira, only that one like anus and Malatyagya means, but it is implying both your in the Sthula Sharira, both passing of urine or passing of your expression means the personification stool. And even that sense, if you see in a more vast or in a deeper figurative way, even when you have a skin pores, the medical person we can say as when skin pores, when we sweat, our sweat glands are there during the sweating also. Through sweating also, when through the skin, the sweating comes up, and in the summer season, this sweat also helps us maintain our temperature like a thermostat. That is also a very important mechanism in the Sthula Sharira. Through even when you're sweating, if you're not sweating and other things are there, something wrong is there, your chemistry of your sodium in the body, of salt of your body, it gets some there is a problem with your salt, your concentration in your body, then that also creates some problem in a medical disease also. So that way also in the Sthula Sharira, even a sweating can be also figuratively taken as a form of elimination of the waste products, depending on upon the situation. As I said, urine or stool or anything else. Even if you say that our shedding our nails or shedding our hairs, there also shedding hairs and nails also, that we cut and nails and it is just coming out of our body. Even our dead body also for a certain time after even death, when anything else is not no more functioning, this our nails and hairs for short term, even after death it grows for the short term. So this way also, whatever these things that through that payamritu, we have said that to leave your body so that it doesn't get accumulated within and it becomes a poison within your system. So that this necessary thing to give up. You should not accumulate beyond your necessity. So this idea is there in the payar vishaya malatyagaha. Then comes upasthasya vishaya ananda iti. So upastha ka vishaya ananda. The function of the organ, of the genital organs, of the reproductive organs is pleasure. Here the pleasure ananda means the procreation. That's of the Prajapati, as we said, the Devata is there for reproduction. That's why it said the same thing in the higher degree. That's why Swami Krishna says Vishayananda, Bhajanananda, and Brahmananda. All are called Ananda. Here also it says Ananda. But Vishayananda is when your procreation for reproduction, that also when you ananda of that, the sexual intercourse or the producing of life, next generation, for all that ahar nidra maithuna, for all the pashus, everybody is there. But that is the basic ananda there. But it is a degree, it is the lowest degree. Above that is the bhajanananda, the ananda of the sadhana, taking the name of Lord, moving mukshata, going yearning for Lord and going towards spiritual life. And the final ananda is brahmananda. Brahmananda is the when you have the ananda or so happiness of the bliss of God realizations. Even Sri Ramakrishna says in the Vachanamrit, Kathamrit Gospel to Srima that Premero Anand Joni Ittadi, he says that way, that when Premero Chokshu Hoy, Premero Jomi Hoy, that way, when that bliss of Anand is there, through that he says that through সেটার মাধ্যমে প্রতিটা রোমে রোমে ইন্দ্রিয় সুখের জায়গায় সেখানে ব্রহ্মানন্দের সুখবোধ হয়. Rome means every year through a hair, even your each hair, if your skin even, as we said earlier that even skin sweating, it can take up about that idea of that Payar Malatyaga Visha. Similarly, through that also, it can give you that Sri Ramakrishna says, through that also, when you have that prema Vishwara, through that Koti Raman Shukha means that idea of that that which is a reproductive pleasure, but that's a more higher and higher and higher. Instead of that Vishayananda, more than Bhajananda, and the final Brahmananda you can get through Upastasya, which is here the basic is given, but accordingly that's why in case of celibacy is given so much importance, because through that organ, when you control that in the lower portion, that only from Vishananda, then you can strive for Bhajananda and then through Brahmananda. That's why when Sri Ramakrishna was doing Phalarani Kali Puja, Shoroshi Puja in Dakshineshwar to Srimad Sarda with Srimad Sharda Devi, in the Lila Prasang, where Sharat Maharaj, Shardanji, he is noting there, when they were both in Samadhi, the Sri Ramakrishna and the Sharda Devi, he is writing that in the state of Samadhi, in that state, in the highest state of Samadhi, both Sri Ramakrishna and Srimad Sharda Devi were uniting with each other. Here that ideal Brahman is given, where here the Upasthastha Vishayananda is given the lowest idea, in the lowest way in the Vishayananda, as in the organ of as a reproduction, but in the when the Bhajananda, and there he is saying they are united with each other in the spirit of that Samadhi state of Samadhi. There that Ananda Brahman is there, Ananda of that unity with them. So this idea gradation again, so how we use that instrument, that's why celibacy is given, so that when you give up the lower Ananda, then only you can strive for the higher Ananda. This idea has been given. So we end this Sukhsma Sharira here. After this will come the Karana Sharira. So I think next day we can take up Karana Sharira. Today only 5 minutes are there. If any questions or queries or suggestions, comments, if anything is there, feedbacks, in these 5 minutes, we can take it up. Anybody you can ask or you can give your
মহারাজ
point.
এই লাস্টের যেটা বললেন আপনি
হ্যাঁ
উপস্থ বিষয় আনন্দ ইতি, ওইটা আরেকবার একটু বলুন
হ্যাঁ
না।
সেখানে বলছেন যে যে উপস্থের বিষয় আনন্দ, the upastaka vishay ananda hai, the genital organ is the function is pleasure, where it is procreation. Procreation is the reproductive organ, means sexual intercourse, that is in a gross body which we find in the stula sharira. But because here it is saying in the this idea, we know even Kula Kundalini, it is said the lowest, the most lowest, the Kula Kundalini where it is there, the Muladhara, there it is the Kula Kundalini is there, but when it Kula Kundalini rises slowly, it goes to Sahasrara. And Sahasrara, they are the Shiva and Shakti, there they have the union. So when we say the upasthas, in that place when union happens, that is the physical intercourse which we find in the sthula sharira. When because we give birth to another boy or child, a boy or girl, this is a simple which you have the normal physical intercourse. But when you go a higher and higher plane, like Thakur says that Vishayananda che Bhajananda baro, Bhajananda Brahmananda baro. In Tantra also Kundalini, when it says that Muladhara, it rises higher and higher up to the Sahasrara, then Sahasrara unites Shiva and Shakti. The same union of Purusha and Shakti Prakriti happens, but it is happening in the Sahasrara, the highest abode, not in the Muladhara. And it's the same thing Sharat Maharaj is saying in the Lila Prasanga, when they are doing Phalarani Kali Puja, Shoroshi Puja in Dakshineshwar. Then after he is offering his all everything to Japamala and his sadhana to Sarada Devi, and the end he is getting absorbed in his samadhi, and mother also is getting absorbed in samadhi. And there Sharatmaj he ends this reading of that Shorshi Puja, that in the samadhi state both are united. There, the union means union is of Shiva Shakti, Purusha Prakriti. So their union is not in the Sthula Sharira. That's why we are saying here in the Sukhsma Sharira, this concept is there. It is corresponding to the Sthula Sharira, but it is not the same organ, physical organ as the Sthula Sharira. It is only corresponding to that. It is only subtle which cannot be perceived. But commonly we get attached only to the Sthula Sharira. That's why we think of this idea Ananda as only in the Vishayananda as the organ of reproduction. But if we go higher and higher, like in Tantra it is said, like Swamiji Thakur is saying there, Sharat Maharaj is saying there, we can, through celibacy, when we refuse to dwell in the lower Ananda, then only we can strive to get the higher Ananda. If we go towards the lower Ananda, when we'll be lost in that Ananda, we want the higher Ananda. This is the idea. হ্যাঁ, আরো কিছু বলার থাকবে? This idea again, Thakur also saying that যেমন ওই শুয়োরের যেমন তারা ওই নোংরার মধ্যে পাকের মধ্যে থাকতে ভালোবাসে, তারা সেটাই পছন্দ করে। সেই বন্ধে another idea is saying that মেছুনি সে মাছের গন্ধে ভালোবাসে, ফুলের গন্ধে ভালোবাসে না। So that's idea is if you get attached in the lowest plane of existence of pleasure, of ananda, then we are losing the sight towards a higher ideal. So we need to strive higher and higher and higher from Vishananda to Bhajananda, and through that we are raising our Kulakundalini from the Muladhara chakra and finally to the Brahmananda, means Sahasra chakra, where the Shiva Shakti, Prakriti Purusha Prakriti union is there. So here ends that the part of that Upasthasta, this idea. This is the gradation which is given. এইটা হচ্ছে এটা আইডিয়া। এটা সম্বন্ধে যদি আর কিছু বলতে চান আরো বলতে পারেন। আজকের পরেরটাতে আমরা যাব না, আমরা এই 5টা নিলাম কর্মেন্দ্রিয়র মধ্যেই। সময় প্রায় হয়ে এসছে আমাদের, যদি কিছু বলতে চান বলবেন, যে কেউ বাংলা, ইংরেজি, হিন্দিতে, না হলে উইল টেক আপ that dhyana sloka again, and in that case we'll end. তাহলে কি প্রশ্ন না থাকলে আমরা শেষ করি?
সূক্ষ্ম শরীর
হ্যাঁ,
এটা কি অনলি ফর সাধকের জন্য অ্যাপ্লিকেবল হয়?
No, Sukhsma Sharira is for everybody, because any being is comprised of these three shariras. Sthula Sharira may be his human body or animal body or plant body, whatever body he is having. But the Sukhsma Sharira, every being will have, and Karana Sharira, every being will have. But according to your karma, he'll get accordingly his Sthula Sharira. According to his karma, he may get Manusha Sharira. হ্যাঁ,
যেমন আমি স্থূল শরীরের সঙ্গে এত বেশি ভাবে ওতপ্রোত ভাবে জড়িত,
হ্যাঁ,
তো আমি তার সূক্ষ্ম শরীর কি এটা অনুভব করতে পারছি।
হ্যাঁ, that's why when he'll come in the 3rd and 4th chapters after that, then towards the sadhana, he'll say that like in Vedantic treatise like Drigdishya Vivek, everywhere else is there, that we need to differentiate ourselves, that whatever I am seeing and I am perceiving, I am not that. If we just do vichara, we can find that whatever I'm seeing, I am not that. Means I am seeing something, so I am not that seer. I mean, I am not that object which I am seeing. I can see my eyes in a mirror, so I am not my eyes. I am different from that. Again, I can listen, or I can other organs also. Through my hand, I am holding something. Through my feet, I am walking. So whatever I am perceiving, I am different from that. Those are drishya. I am drik, I am drashta, I am the awareness, I am the sakshi of that. So this way vichara you can do. Even in mind, antarindriya also we can think like that. আমার মন ভালো হয় খারাপ হয়, আমার মন ভালো হয় খারাপ মানে আমি আলাদা, আমার মন আলাদা। আমার চোখ ভালো আছে, আমার চোখ খারাপ হয়েছে, তাহলে আমি আলাদা, আমার চোখ আলাদা। আমার শ্রবণ ইন্দ্রিয় আমার ভালো শুনতে পাই না, নাকে গন্ধ পাচ্ছি না, তাহলে আই এম নট দ্যাট। এইভাবে আমরা বিচার করতে পারি these organs which we are perceiving, I am different from this organ. But because of long superimposition, we again forget, and we identify ourselves with these organs and the objects, subjects, vishaya, which they show to us. So this happens again and again. Like a boy when seeing a film in the cinema hall, he forgets that he is different from the character of the film. The film is the only show in the hall, and he is not the character, but he gets frightened, he gets happy, whatever scenery is been shown in the film. So this again, because of the long association with this our sharira, we forget that we are not that. But we need to do this vichara. That's why this atma anatma, this tattva vivek is there. Through that you need to vichara that I am atman, so I am not this anatman, I am not this sthula sharira, I am not this Sukhsma Sharira, I am not this Karana Sharira. Karana Sharira will come in the next class, but I am neither of all those things. Whatever I can perceive through Vichara, at least we can interpret at least, I am not that. You have at least this much conviction, always. তাহলে এইটা আমাদের তাহলে আজকে কর্মেন্দ্রিয়টি হলো। আর কিছু বলার থাকবে, না হলে আমরা আজকে এগোবো মঙ্গলাচরণের বিষয়টি, ধ্যান শ্লোকটি আবার নিয়ে নেব। তাহলে ধ্যান শ্লোকটি নিয়ে নিই। হ্যাঁ বলুন বলুন।
মহারাজ, আমাদের ওই গ্রুপে ওই কবিতাটা স্পিক জেন্টলি, কবিতাটা আপনি একটু শেয়ার করে দেবেন না, যদি আপনার সময় হয়?
আচ্ছা ঠিক আছে ঠিক আছে ঠিক আছে, আমি তাহলে দেখবো ওই স্পিক জেন্টলি যে মূল কবিতাটা তো যেটা আছে, আমি তাহলে অলরেডি খুঁজে বার করবার চেষ্টা করব। যদি আমি ওটা আমার কাছে ছিল আগে কবিতাটা, ইফ আই ক্যান ফাইন্ড ইট আউট, I'll share the wonderful poem Speak Gently. I read earlier and such an inspiring poem, a great reminder to us by Srimad Swami Ramanathanji. I'll try it surely. তাহলে আমি মঙ্গলোচ্চারণটা করে নিই আগে, মানে ধ্যান শ্লোকটি। ওম বাসুদেবেন্দ্র যোগীন্দ্র নত্বা জ্ঞানপ্রদম গুরুম মুমুক্ষাণাম হিতার্থায় তত্ত্ববোধ বিধীয়তে।